I am your father, Luke. You're watching Carlisle's Picks, and this is my review of Star Wars The Force Awakens, my full review. Here's a little video from my motorcycle channel to look at so I don't get any copyright strikes showing the Star Wars footage. So I was very disappointed in the movie. I know you've seen a lot of positive reviews saying about how awesome the movie is, but the very fact that in the opening scene, Luke dies, which I think that was really awful to do that and to have that happen in the very beginning of the movie. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna share this video with your buddies, and when they get pissed off because of that spoiler, that fake spoiler, you can start laughing really loud before they hear me saying what I'm saying right now. And then when they calm down, you can let them know that you just pranked them with a fake spoiler. Anyway, so forget what I just said. I just made it up. I'm just messing with you guys. You can have fun with that. So let's get to the real movie. So let's get serious. So I actually really did enjoy the movie. What I was disappointed with was not that nonsense I just said, but I'm disappointed that a lot of people online that are actually doing legitimate spoilers. So what they're doing is, and you've been warned, because there's probably going to be another review video that's going to be linked in this from this video, and you're probably going to click on it. Be warned, a lot of people are going around and they're spoiling the movie by putting spoilers in the comments. So just be warned, be careful what videos you watch and what comments you watch. I would advise, if you really want to avoid any spoilers, of course be careful of what reviews you watch, but more importantly, pay attention, I'd stay out of the comment section pretty much. So I really love the movie. But before I go on and say blah blah blah, what's a better thing rather than me telling you how much I love the movie? Let me let you listen to the reaction from the audience. So this is not just me, one person. You don't know me. My subscribers, you know me and you love me and I love you. But if you don't know me, you're not a subscriber. I'm gonna let you hear a whole ton of people in the theater, so you can listen to their reactions yourself and judge for yourself all the laughing and clapping, and you can get a sense for how the movie was. So let's get into it. This is the opening of the movie.
Good.
And you'll drop your weapon?
And I'll drop my weapon.
This is a comedy. All right, so that last section was the clapping at the very end of the movie. So a very satisfied audience indeed. So if you are a Star Wars fan, then you definitely should go see the movie. Thumbs up, go check it out. You're gonna love it. If you are not necessarily a Star Wars fan, but you think you might enjoy the movie, you've been intrigued by the trailers, and you really think it's a great movie to go see, then you should go see it, and you're probably right. If you're only going there because you're expecting this, your mind to be blown, it's so amazing, I've never seen such effects, and the storyline was so deep, probably gonna be a little bit let down. Not saying it was a weak storyline or anything like that, but it wasn't anything to brag about, nothing to blow your mind, nothing to, man, I've never seen such a, no. It was just a very entertaining movie from beginning to end. There's not much slowness in the movie. I would say 3/4 of the way in, there is a section where they go to a certain area, and it did kind of lag just a little bit, but that was it. The entire movie from beginning to end, other than that little section, which wasn't bad in itself, but everything else was, you're watching the whole thing. You've got a couple of different plots going on where There's one situation, you're not really sure where that's going to go. There's something else going on, you're not really sure where that's going to go. So that intrigue, that suspense kind of keeps you engaged with the movie and definitely tentative and wondering, what's going to happen. There is one major plot element that is kind of predictable. I think most of you are going to figure it out. Most of you are going to be like, yeah, we know how this is going to turn out. We've kind of seen this before. And you're going to pretty much, whatever you think is going to happen, more or less is going to happen as far as that resolution of that. As far as a climatic scene in there where you've got two things going on, where you have two characters and there's kind of a build up and what's going to happen, where are we going with this, and then there's a final something that's going to happen between the two. It was good. It's good. It's entertaining, but and, I guess without saying who it is, I'll just say it's a battle of some sort that you kind of know is coming because you see the character development between two characters, and you're kind of like you see where they're headed, right? So you know it's gonna happen. And when it happens, are you disappointed? So I was disappointed, but it definitely wasn't something where I was kind of like, whoa, look at how she flipped around and did that and he did this and blah, blah, blah. No, it was an entertaining fight, and it had to happen. There was one element where there was someone who was kind of discovering themselves and their abilities, and all of a sudden, so quickly, they go from 0 to 100 real quick. 0 to 100 real. So it's like you just started to kind of explore something with yourself, and now you're gonna jump to challenging someone who's like a Navy SEAL. I mean, that was a little weird. That was a little weird. The other thing that was kind of weird as far as some of the negatives of the movie is switch to something from my car channel here. There was a part of the movie where there were some characters that were kind of silly. In a way, if you have something that a powerful force is looking for, there's this whole mission, we've got to find this thing that you have. You might kind of want to be a little bit sneaky and kind of at least try to hide it. You know what I mean? Like, someone's looking for it, don't just have it out in the open. So that was kind of. But then again, some or most of the people involved weren't necessarily trained for this kind of stuff, so maybe you're just like, it's a little amateur hour going on, but still, it's common sense. You know what I mean? You're being whatever you have is being looked for, so kind of try to hide it. Um, then there's other elements as well that just have to do with poor ability to kind of hide yourself and be covert. It's just kind of like we know that we're being hunted. We know that people want this thing. People want us. We know that people have seen us with this thing or driving this thing or flying this thing, and there's really not much effort made to kind of hide that. But that's a minor thing. It's not a perfect movie. This is one of the imperfections, I believe. But none of these things are enough to hurt the movie to where it's like, this is stupid, man. No, no. I think it's definitely a movie that I think has not a complex plot, but a plot that's intricate enough, that's creative enough, that has enough depth that it definitely can keep you engaged and make for a very enjoyable experience. So definitely go see Star Wars: The Force Awakens and have a great time. I will warn you. I'm sure you figured this already, but there's long lines, man. The lines are crazy. I was one of the first people to see it in the country, and so the kind of lines for me wouldn't be as crazy as it would be even now. I think it's still showing right now. Then definitely tomorrow is gonna be gonna be crazy. There's cops everywhere, of course, because of the terrorism stuff. So bear that in mind. But other than that, go see the movie, and I definitely highly recommend it. I definitely enjoyed it. Would I buy the Blu-ray? Would I buy the Blu-ray on this movie? Um, I'm not sure. That's interesting. I loved the movie. It was great and everything, but I don't know if this is something that I would necessarily want to have in my collection. I don't buy a lot of DVDs or Blu-rays, so just bear that in mind. I'm not a big person on collecting this because it's kind of like I've seen the movie already, and then by the time I've kind of unseen it, just sort of forgotten it, it's gonna be so long. So I'm just gonna buy this thing just to keep it for years until I one day I'm bored and like, oh, you know what I mean? So I only really want to buy a DVD or Blu-ray that's I feel is profound or some kind of deep connection. So I don't know. I don't know. I gotta think. I'll leave it at that. I just don't know. It wasn't enough for me that I want to necessarily have a copy. Would I go see it again? I'm super busy. If I wasn't, I probably would go see it again. So I would see it again. Don't know if I would buy it just yet. Anyway, this is Carlisle from Carlisle's Picks. Definitely thumbs up. Add this to my top pick. Definitely one of the best movies I've seen this year. Absolutely one of the best movies I've seen this year for sure. And I know there's a little bit of nostalgia going on because I'm Star Wars baby. No, I'm not really baby, but you know what I mean. I grew up watching Star Wars, so there's nostalgia going on. But I think it's more than nostalgia. I think that's interesting. Would I enjoy the movie if I hadn't watched Star Wars before? Like, how complex is the storyline? Can you pick up on it? Um, I would say you don't really need to be a Star Wars, fan or anything like that because I mean, yeah, there's some elements going on in terms of relations. There's any certain characters that they bring back that you're not gonna recognize, but you don't really need to recognize them. The characters themselves. I think there's enough development in the story, and I'm biased because I know the story, right? But for me, I think there's enough character development, and the characters were interesting enough that even if you didn't know the background, that you could actually enjoy the movie as is just as an interesting storyline and you want to know what's going to happen, you care about the characters, the acting is great, the music is great, the cinematography is great. So I don't really think you need to be a Star Wars fan to really enjoy the movie. Obviously, being a Star Wars fan, there's going to be deeper elements that you're going to pick up on that someone who's not a fan won't recognize, like, oh wow, so such and such was blah blah blah, or oh no, that happened to him, and we've always loved him, and that's really sad. So I think it'll be a great movie for someone who doesn't know Star Wars. Even better for a Star Wars fan because they're gonna take much more from the movie than someone who doesn't know the background would. But I think everyone's gonna be relatively happy. I don't see anybody really going in there and hating it or not liking it. At the minimum, I feel like overwhelming majority of people will go in and say, it wasn't crazy, but I was at least entertained, and I don't feel like I wasted my money. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna go there and say, I wasted my money, man. This thing was boring. I've seen this before, even though there was an element that was kind of seen before. But I think overall, people will be satisfied. So, highly recommend it. Go see it, enjoy it, and then come back here and comment below. And let me know whether you like the movie or not. And I'm out. And if you're into cars, go check out my car channel, Your Fast Life Car Channel, or Motorcycles, Your Fast Life Motorcycle Channel. I'm covering the Detroit Auto Show coming up pretty soon, and I just covered the California or Long Beach motorcycle show, and I just did New York as well. Thank you for watching, and may the force be with you.